Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. If you're listening to us in the audio realm, do us a favor. Leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really helps grow Going In Raw. We were like 3 spots away from overtaking What Culture for the top non-wrestler base. Like, no, we're not wrestlers here.
No, never have been, never will be.
So, like, the top fan-based podcast in the wrestling world in Apple Podcasts. 3 spots away, and all those comments, reviews, and ratings help boost our profile there on that chart. I don't know what algorithm exactly they use.
Yeah.
But I'm gunning for them dudes over at What Culture, man.
You want to be
that's an up.
Number one.
Absolutely, man. Because we got the number one community here in professional wrestling media. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about NXT 2.0. What huge changes did Triple H make to that? None. There was basically the exact same as it always is.
They got a lot in those 2 hours.
They did. I actually really enjoyed NXT this week.
Really? I thought it was a slog. I wanted to fall asleep the whole time.
Really? Oh man, I like that main event. No, that's all good. And then Medusa was there. Sorry, Alundra Blaze was there. That was cool. She's the homie.
Medusa being there was great. And there was there's a couple of good matches. But there's just too much talking for my taste. Anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Also on today's show, we're going to talk about a huge Summerslam match canceled, and we're going to do some reckless speculation over what exactly is happening there, because it could be a lot of fun. I don't know what it's going to be, but it could be a lot of fun. But first, let's talk about this, man.
Yes.
So we might be looking at more talent eyeing the WWE from AEW now that Vince is gone. So since WWE announced Monday that the Game, the Cerebral Assassin, the King of Kings, Triple H, Paul Levesque, terrorizing Jean-Paul Levesque, is taking over.
Say Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, thank you. Was taking over creative. That's the hot tag right there, man. So ever since that happened on Monday, right, there's been quite a bit of talk on the wrestling internets about the possibility of former NXT stars currently signed with AEW possibly going back to WWE to again work for the King of Kings. Fightful Select asked a couple dozen former WWE talents if they would have stuck around had Triple H been at the helm creatively, and many of them responded that they would have if the Cerebral Assassin had been in charge of the book on main roster at the time of their departure. One former NXT talent told Fightful that they, quote, felt an incredible sense of loyalty to Triple H, and had he been the person managing their creative future, things could have been much different. That talent, as well as another former NXT wrestler who eventually signed with AEW, both told Fightful that, quote, they had no confidence in being creatively satisfied on the WWE main roster. One of those wrestlers told Fightful, quote, I'm glad that I went to AEW, but if I was graduating to a Triple H-led SmackDown or Raw, I probably would have re-signed with WWE before my deal was up. A top free agent told Fightful that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon assuming their new roles could make it more likely that they re-sign with the company. Well, apparently, AEW head honcho Tony Khan is seemingly aware of a lot of this chatter that's been going on about AEW talent jumping ship to WWE now that the Game is in charge. Because on a recent appearance on Busted Open Radio, Khan responded to the talk of AEW wrestlers returning to WWE, stating, and these transcripts come to you via WrestlingNews.co, quote, there's a lot of changes in pro wrestling. I think it's going to be positive for the fans overall. I'm a little amused that changes in the competition. So that's his I find it funny. I am a little amused that changes in the competition. People think it's going to magically change the landscape. Some of these accounts, Twitter, can be a fun place to follow, but some of the narratives I've seen every day for the last week are really amusing to me. You know, I've got people signed here for 5 years. 5 years. And people think that just because the CEO, chairman, head of creative, those positions changed in the competition, people I have 5-year contracts with are magically gonna switch teams. Good luck with that. He also noted Adam Cole is apparently signed through 2027.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we've indulged in the chatter of well, Triple H is in charge now. Obviously, he was seemingly very close with a good number of wrestlers in NXT and on the main roster who eventually went to AEW. And so yeah, we have indulged in that talk because whoever said this here to Fightful, they feel a great deal of loyalty towards Triple H based on what we've seen about Hunter's relationship with NXT talents. I understand that because it felt like a family based on what we saw for the most part,
Absolutely.
A lot of the backstage stuff, like last 5 years, I would say, whenever you see these little behind the scenes bits of Triple H talking to anybody that either was in NXT when he was there or went up to the main roster and had any interaction with Triple H, it just seems like wrestlers feel like they can talk to him, confide in him, air their frustrations, and he will listen. And that seems to be a massive departure from Vince. And I'm not surprised at all that someone who eventually went to AEW would be like, I'm not going to stay here because the odds of me getting good creative, minimal. Don't blame him for that. Not surprising at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think that look, this is something that you and I have talked about a lot because it's a natural thing to talk about. People waiting out Vince McMahon, whether, he retires, gets forced out, combination there of what actually happened, or he's super old. Other things could happen. It seems kind of clear that if you have a situation where you value creativity above even a huge paycheck, and you have an alternative where you're allowed creative, and by the grass ain't all that greener over in AEW. For some people, yeah, absolutely. For others, women, not so much. And so you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, what Vince is going to give you, a bunch of dog shit probably, right? At least AEW, you have an opportunity there, maybe. And that's what a lot of people have taken Tony Khan up on that offer, and good for them.
Yeah.
But now that Vince is gone, hey, guess what? This creates maybe more competition for AEW for talent now. Just like they did for WWE, because it's like, oh, like you said, that dude who created an atmosphere in NXT that people seem to love.
Yeah.
Is now running the whole show from top to bottom across 4 brands. Now he's in charge, and the old man who couldn't remember what match went on last week, so he put on the same match the next week, is gone. His running buddy, who thought everybody should dress like Mandy Rose, is gone. The culture, regardless of what CM Punk thinks, is gonna change. Let's by virtue of the fact that those dudes are gone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I watched what CM Punk had to say about this, and I don't have a transcript here, but he basically said, yeah, I don't think anything's going to change there. Well, we all know that CM Punk and Triple H never really saw eye to eye.
They never really seemingly got along, no.
And so it's sort of, I think it's disingenuous. And in fact, even the example he gave was kind of bunk, because he pointed at something that they did under, the calling out Sasha and Naomi, the tactless, classless way they did that when they left because they were unsatisfied creatively. He said, the culture's not going to change. They called them out, and then when Brock left, they didn't call him out. Well, it's different. Yeah, they didn't call him out. They probably wouldn't have because of Brock Lesnar. But
exactly.
I honestly, and maybe this is me being naive, what do you think? If the same situation happened with Sasha and Naomi and they left, do you think the Stephanie Triple H regime would have been in Michael Cole's ear saying, run them down?
No, I don't think so.
I have no evidence to suggest that would be the case.
I don't think so. I mean, we don't have the sample size that we do with Vince, with Triple H, in terms of, we've seen over a great many number of years, Vince would be petty, vindictive. We've seen it.
We've seen that plenty. We haven't seen that same thing. I mean, he did call AEW Pissant Company.
Yeah, I know, but that felt like it was more just kind of a jokey thing. It was a rib.
Yeah.
At least since Triple H has been in management,
yeah,
we haven't seen that from him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he does seem to want to stay above all that. And I mean, that's evidence that I've seen. I doubt that would be the same thing. So all respect to CM Punk. He's worked there. He also has quite a bit of baggage with that company that I honestly think would probably end up, coloring his vision a little bit. But no, absolutely. It does feel like the culture is probably going to change in WWE. Is it going to be great for everybody? Probably not, because there's not enough room for it to be great for everybody. That's just the nature of entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it'll be better for most everybody, if it's a situation where people are, left sitting at catering or sitting at home because they're not involved because Vince had followed the whim one way and just completely neglected utilizing everybody. And you have someone new coming in, especially someone new that you have a rapport with in Triple H. You got to be optimistic. Well, at least maybe I'll do something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be on TV on a regular basis. Maybe I'll at least have a story.
Yeah. Now, I mean, what Tony Khan says is probably factually correct. If you're under contract with a place, you can't magically switch teams. We know that.
No, you can't. You can't just up and leave. No, this isn't the early '90s anymore, when apparently people just get up and leave.
That shit used to happen all the time. It was crazy.
All the time.
Yeah.
Happened with Sid. He changed companies like 5 times.
Yeah. People just go and they just stab a person, go somewhere else, and then go to the other place where they just stabbed a person. It was kind of crazy. But things are different now. Look, I honestly just think this, man. I think everybody in the wrestling industry probably should just be happy that toxic, cancerous element is out of the WWE. That's it. The period. And then if you face a new set of problems, so be it. But Triple H and Stephanie have both always sort of shown, to my eyes, an appreciation for, a sort of a healthy atmosphere backstage, an emphasis, by the way, on women's wrestling. And I think there's a lot of positives here to come. And I don't know if you need to be so defensive about that, but I know. Tony Khan is Tony Khan.
Exactly. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Steve, it's quiz time.
What? I'm not
quiz
ready.
Starts now.
Okay.
Starts now. What are some things that you do to take care of that thing you got inside your head? I'm talking about your brain.
I don't know. My brain. I massage my head sometimes, and I wear a hat at night. I don't know. I don't know what I do. I failed this quiz.
All right. Well, here, how we care for our brains could affect how we experience life. So it's important to take the time and care necessary to keep your brain and mind healthy. I mean, there are a ton of ways you can support your brain health. You could learn a new language. You could take a power nap.
Hey, now you're speaking my language. I love power naps.
I can confirm you do nap a lot. Or you could try BetterHelp online therapy. There was a period in my life where I was dealing with severe anxiety and I had to look for some help. So I've been through the process of trying to find a therapist and know how difficult it can be to find the right person to talk to. But BetterHelp online therapy makes that process much more convenient by offering video, phone, and even live chat therapy sessions.
BetterHelp can get you matched up with a therapist in less than 48 hours, and it's much more affordable than in-person therapy. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
And now let's get a word from our sponsor, Bioptimizer. Steve, quiz time again.
Oh, no, okay. No, I know this one. You're going to ask me if I know why magnesium is so important.
I was. How'd you know? You cheating on this quiz.
No, you've asked me this several times. And yes, I know why magnesium is important. 75% of us don't get enough magnesium, even though it's involved in 80% of our body's metabolic reactions. And when you don't get enough magnesium, you basically turn into you, Larson. You suffer from poor sleep, low energy, and higher stress levels. Did I get it right?
You did. I'm happy you've been paying attention, but I feel like it's kind of rude that you would say that stuff. Nonetheless, yes, I did suffer from poor sleep, low energy, and high stress, but I've been taking Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough, and I've noticed that my sleep has been better, my stress levels gone down, while my energy has gone up. And even if you've tried Magnesium Breakthrough before, you should try this new formula because it now includes cofactors like B6 and manganese to help with magnesium absorption. That means it's even more effective. All you gotta do is take 2 capsules before bed, and you'll be astonished with how much better you sleep and how your mood and energy levels are improved the following day.
For an exclusive offer for Going In Raw listeners, go to magbreakthrough.com/raw and use code RAW during checkout to save 10% and get free shipping. Again, go to magbreakthrough.com/raw and use code RAW during checkout to save 10% and get free shipping. And before we get back to the show, let's get a word in from our sponsor, Liquid IV. Now, we've talked about it here on the show before. Larson and I like to get together every week to play some basketball, and we've come to realize that it is really easy to get dehydrated, especially during these hot summer months.
Yeah, it's been brutally hot. And as I'm sure you know, Steve, when I play basketball and I'm out there working hard trying to D you up, I'm sweating a lot. And the last thing I want to deal with when I'm trying to ball you up on the court is dehydration, because it could totally ruin my day.
Yeah, it's ruined my day multiple times. I'm out there all sweating up, getting dehydrated. Come home and I get a dehydration headache. I'm useless. I just go lay down on my bed and stare at the ceiling.
Yeah, my wife actually introduced me to Liquid IV several months back because she was using it to keep hydrated while running, and I've started using it during and after our weekly basketball games. I've noticed a massive difference. I don't get as run down, and I don't feel as sore afterwards. So now Liquid IV has become part of my routine, not only when we play basketball, though, but anytime I'm out exercising or I'm going to be out in the sun. We even brought some Liquid IV with us on a recent vacation to keep us hydrated while we were lounging by the pool.
Yeah, man. Great thing is, too, Liquid IV is super easy to use. I just put one stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water, and I'm good to go. It hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone, and you got your choice of 10 refreshing flavors like Concord Grape, Lemon Lime, Pina Colada, and my personal favorite, Tropical Punch.
Yeah, I like that lemon lime. I had a couple of those today, actually. So grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at liquidiv.com.
Let's talk about this because I'm anxious to get your thoughts on this, man.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah,
this is very interesting. So it looks like we may have gotten our first major creative shakeup here during the Triple H era. WWE reported via the bump today that the scheduled Seth Rollins versus Riddle match at SummerSlam is off after Rollins stomped Riddle on the floor, and then on top of the ring steps to close out this week's Raw. Caleb Braxton added that Rollins' attack led to Riddle getting a, quote, really bad stinger that's resulted in some weakness, and he won't be medically cleared for the biggest party of the summer. Fightful Select reporting that Riddle's injury, not legitimate. But they're using the post-match beatdown at the hands of Rollins to kayfabe Riddle's absence from SummerSlam. Fightful adds that the match will happen later, perhaps as soon as Clash of the Castle, but it's being scrapped for the time being due to creative adjustments. Seth Rollins commented on the change on Twitter, tweeting out, quote, for anyone who purchased a ticket to see SummerSlam, hoping to see me in action, I apologize. I did everything I could over the last 6 months to earn my spot on the show. Some things are out of my control. Thank you for always singing my song. They'll hear you someday. But then Triple H responded, said, I hear you.
I hear you. I hear you, Seth Rollins.
I mean, Seth is a Triple H guy.
My God. He is one of the most Triple H guys there is. He's like prime Triple H guy. All right, man. Creative adjustments. This is a big deal. This is a big Triple H. All right, he's moving these pieces around. I think SummerSlam's going to be a wild show, man. I think Triple H is looking at this and like, all right, what can I move around here? What can I do here? And this is pretty big. So what is Rollins going to do at SummerSlam? I mean, obviously the one thing that a lot of people have been talking about is the possibility of him being added to the main event. I don't necessarily see that, but what do you think in terms of the possibilities on a scale of 1 to 10, Rollins being added to the main event?
I mean, I'd say 6. No. Possibility of it happening? 4. 3 maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 or 4. I don't really see that. Yeah.
They have a show to make something, and I know he's got tons of history with Reigns. They tease that on Raw. Mm-hmm. He's got history with Brock. Mm-hmm. I get all that. But I don't know how they're gonna motivate it. It could be something simple. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It'd be weird to not have him on the card whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
It's one of the top stars in the entire company. You want him on the card.
He's going to be on the card because this is if it's true, it's a creative adjustment, which, he didn't actually stomp Riddle into a stinger, into getting a stinger. This is something. I don't know, man. SummerSlam, maybe it's going to rival Survivor Series 98 with all the twists and turns that it might have. I don't know. Is he going to end up somehow getting that briefcase off of Riddle, off of a Theory? Probably not. I don't see that happening either. But, I don't know, man. I don't see that happening either. I feel like something big.
Your host for SummerSlam, Seth Rollins.
Well, what's also interesting is that apparently, according to some of these reports, I sound like wrestling news now, according to rumors, Paul Heyman is in Triple H's inner circle.
Yeah.
Creatively speaking, which is awesome, which is great
news.
So what if he comes to Triple H like, I've got an idea. We're Seth Rollins. Fucking, I don't know. I don't have anything past that. I have a bad Heyman impression.
If he were put into the main event, make it a triple threat, last man standing, so on and so forth. I don't know. That might not work with the stipulation of the match because would you have to make two people not be able to get up? I don't know if we've ever seen a triple threat last man standing match before.
It wouldn't surprise me if I did it at ECW. You can have the three-way dance, which is like elimination. But yeah, last man standing. No, it would alter the DNA of the entire match. Plus, you can't advertise as one last time.
Exactly.
I mean, you could because they did it already at WrestleMania in the cash-in. But I don't know. But I honestly think there's going to be some twists and turns coming up, man. Heyman. Heyman loved all that kind of shit. Just crosses and double crosses and stuff like that going down. And on top of that, Seth's tweet was like a super babyface tweet.
It really was.
I hear you singing my song. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
And we had that little thing between Seth and Roman on Raw.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a hint on SmackDown Friday night. But yeah, I don't know. Could be interesting, man.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people here in chat are saying Seth versus John Gargano. Here's the thing. They just did that with Seth and Cody. Seth lost to Cody 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. They're not gonna do that again.
Right.
Or I'd be really surprised if they did that again.
Right. And also, some people here in chat, I see. I don't know if you guys are joking or not, but versus Edge, they did that ad nauseum.
They already had 3 matches.
I think he wants to go. I think he wants to set up his players. And I think if you don't think Seth Rollins, especially how popular he is right now, he's got that whole arena every single Monday or Friday or whatever, chant singing along with his song.
Yeah.
Putting in that good work. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, don't know. It'd be interesting. Also interesting, AEW tonight. A lot happened.
Big story beats.
Huge story beats. First among those is that we have a new FTW champion. So Ricky Starks successfully defended it against Danhausen. He says, I still got something left in the tank. Another challenger, come on out. Hook answered the challenge and defeated Ricky Starks. And after the match, Starks just dropped an incredible babyface promo.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And then Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, attacked him from behind.
Whoop-a.
Dropped him with a spine buster while Taz is on commentary saying, what's going on here? So we don't know what the dynamic between Team Taz, but even in defeat, because here's the thing. Ricky Starks is already well beyond the FTW title. He's had that belt for a year. Dude's going to be a main eventer sooner rather than later. He's got the in-ring ability. He can talk. He had one of his short films back before his entrance tonight. And if he had the involvement he's had his previous things, dude is an incredibly creative and talented individual. Sky's the limit for Ricky Starks. And this seemed like the first step in pushing him to the moon. And I'm very excited about it.
There is a big old gaping hole right now for a young... is Ricky past 30? He's younger than 30, I think.
I'll check.
In any event, there's a big hole right now that MJF left. for a strong, young...
He's 32.
Okay, he's 32. For a strong, young, up-and-coming talent. I know that's like, 7 years older than MJF, but still... in my opinion, Starks is just as talented, probably even more so than MJF in terms of raw talent. Now I know it's a different role. He's a babyface. MJF was a great heel. And who knows when or if MJF is going to return. But you do have an opportunity here because, like you said, Starks has everything. Now you need to see him go through a prolonged story getting to that point from FTW title to, I don't know, maybe he beats Wardlow for that title, or maybe he moves up to the Pac title right now. He travels overseas and finds some little rinky-dink
pro show. Yeah,
exactly. He finds a bingo hall in Birmingham to fight Pac and gets that title. I don't know what it's going to be, but it seemed like a big moment. Moment for Starks that you can look back on. And that clubbing blow from Hobbs, I gasped. I was laying there on my bed watching it, and it came so out of nowhere. It was so unexpected. I did not see this coming, and you just see this gunk.
Yeah,
and I was like, no.
I didn't think they'd break up before Keith Lee and Swerve.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
I didn't think that would happen at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising, and so we get Stark's first feud. Now that he's a babyface, going to go against Powerhouse Hobbs, and that should be great. Give the two of them a couple months, maybe 3 months, and just tell a great story between the two of them. And if you do it right, they'll both be much more massive stars afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. We also had the official announcement for, and we had our first holders of the AEW Trios titles.
Yeah.
The commentary team is JR, Taz, and Excalibur.
Yeah.
So apparently we're gonna get the crowning of the new Trios champions is gonna be at All Out, I believe was.
Yeah, as a tournament, the finals will be at All Out. Yeah.
Right, and so it's totally gonna be Adam Cole and Redragon versus the Hangman Page and the Young Bucks. I kind of feel like it's probably going to end up going to Hangman and the Bucks.
I think so too, because I believe it's Fightful's report that Kenny Omega was supposed to be involved in a program with the Young Bucks. I was kind of skeptical that he'd actually be wrestling. He can help his friends, the Young Bucks, win those titles and try to make amends with Page, given their history as well. I think that could be interesting stuff.
I think it could be really good stuff. It was advertised next week that the Undisputed Elite are back. I have no idea what the status is on Cole. Is O'Reilly injured as well? I thought they were all busted up to some degree.
Seen anything about that? But
right. They just been gone.
Yeah, could just be gone. And then whenever Kenny is healthy, bang, right into a feud with Adam Cole.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So. And who knows how long that's going to be. I do, originally, I think Tony Khan had even said he wanted to wait for Kenny to come back to do this. Now, maybe he had plans back then to do it this way, or if maybe he had plans for it to be Kenny and the Bucks. Who knows? But seemingly, this is going to be an interesting feud. Also, what we speculated might have been, and we both kind of agreed, an underwhelming main event to All Out is actually in a main event Quake at the Lake. Mox versus Jericho after Mox successfully took down Roosh tonight. The Jericho
great match too.
Oh, phenomenal match. Jericho Appreciation Society comes out and Jericho basically lays out the challenge for Mox. So that match is going to go down. Is there any chance that that's going to sort of, because Punk, by all indications, Punk's foot is fucked up. I'm kind of not optimistic that he'll be back by All Out.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised.
So, I mean, when Jericho first came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be the All Out thing. Okay. Is there, maybe they're going to do Quake at the Lake to sort of set up a match between Mox and Jericho at All Out?
Well, usually when they have these title matches, you get a definitive winner.
Right, yeah.
It's very rare that you get a DQ finish I think I can only think of one time it's happened. In an AEW bout. So, I would expect the match to happen and have a definitive winner at the end. Now, that's not to say they don't set up something else afterwards. I mean, heck, the Blackpool Combat Club is still feuding with Jericho Appreciation Society, and I thought maybe Wheeler versus Garcia might kind of put the end to it. Not happening. So I don't know. I mean, if you have that match on August 10th and then less than a month later have another match, unless there's some stipulation that you add to it to up the ante.
Yeah, that's what it would have to be, a stipulation of some sort. Or I guess maybe, I mean, Quake at the Lake is just going to be a themed Dynamite. You're right, though. They usually have definitive endings to these big title matches, but maybe in this situation they'll have a wonk finish and they'll finish it up at a...
I mean, the one way they could very easily motivate a rematch is to have Jericho win it. And then Mox
win the title?
Yeah.
What was also kind of interesting tonight, Mox said, get that interim shit out of here. You know, I'm a two-time AEW World Champion. You think that means they're going to start referring to that thing as the World Championship? I kind of wonder if that's another signifier, maybe that Punk's going to be out a little longer than they had suspected.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Or they're trying to, it's a swerve, and they're trying to make us think that because he's going to be back in 2 weeks.
2D chess or 3D chess, man.
Could be. We finally heard from Jungle Boy. He had an interview, talked a lot of crap about Christian, showed a little bit of passion and intensity.
Yeah, he talked loud.
Yeah, he talked loud. Yeah,
because he doesn't usually. It's a great first step. No, he said a lot of people really like this. One thing that Jungle Boy, I think you and I both agree, needs to show a little bit of personality.
Yes,
and he did that tonight. It was a good first step. He said shit a lot, called Christian a pussy, and he said a lot of rude things about Christian. Talked about his divorce. So that's a feud that's happening, and that's cool.
Yeah, and then in the main event, we saw Daniel Garcia take on Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson's first match since Anarchy in the Arena, and he took the L.
Yeah.
Not expecting that. It seemed like Dynamite tonight was really focusing on building up some of the younger talent, not relying so much on the WWE talent, former WWE talent.
Yeah, that's good.
And back when AEW started, that seemed to be their goal. Is like, hey, we're bringing in a bunch of people. We got a bunch of really well-known people that, the elite guys. But they spent the first, 6 months really trying to develop the younger talent. And I hope they do get back to that because, I like Bryan Danielson and Mox and stuff, but it'd be great to see them do their thing, but not at the expense of the younger talent that they need to build up to solidify the future of the company.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. We did see that. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off because we've been talking about it a lot. Roosh versus Jon Moxley. You said,
oh man, this was great
already. Just a really terrific match. Once again, Moxley got busted open. Just really, really good stuff here. There was some distractions, some shenanigans from the Ingobert
Jose
faction
and
Ingobert
Andrade,
and Roosh. They let Roosh kick out of a paradigm shift, which is kind of cool. But then Mox immediately put on that bulldog, and Roosh was out pretty quickly after that. So Mox got the win after that. Jericho Appreciation Society walks to the stage.
Entertainers.
Parker says this. There's no Daddy Magic tonight. Parker said this garbage town doesn't get to listen to Judas, but here's something we can do. Appreciate them. Jericho says, I had to come out here and congratulate you on an amazing match. You've done a great job as interim champ. You're on a roll. He says, but it's nothing compared to the role the Jericho Appreciation Society's on. He says, look at Garcia. He's in the main event. Sammy Guevara is going to annihilate Dante Martin with Ty by his side. And now we got Anna Jay. He says she called me last week, asked for an opportunity, and it paid off huge. So I got on the mic, and she started running everybody down. She's like, "You're damn right, I took that opportunity." Says, "I'm the new Anna Jay, Anna J-A-S," which was terrible.
It really was.
It was awesome. That was pretty great. She says, I'm the sexiest and toughest, and I'm not afraid to prove it. Said, I'm going to choke you. I starts pointing at fans in the crowd. I'm going to choke you out. I'm going to choke you all out. And they have to sort of calm her down a little bit.
That was pretty good.
So Jericho says, that's the intensity I saw last week when Eddie brutalized me, broke my nose, and threw me into a barbed wire web. He says, but I beat Kingston, and he says, Mox, I'm going to beat you. He says, after 2.5 years, I'm demanding my rematch for the AEW World title at Quake by the Lake. And when I beat you, I'm going to be the first 2-time Le Champion. And Mox was like, no. He says, Jericho, I hate you, and I hate this type of sports entertainment bullshit. I used to look up to you, and I believe that in your own way, you are the greatest. You're the GOAT. You've been everywhere. You've done everything. But everything you got going on now is pathetic. This isn't the sports entertainment title of the galaxy. It's the AEW title. It's a top title, and we're in pro wrestling. So if you want this match, leave the people who carry your bags at home. And I don't want the Wizard. I don't want the King of Trademarks or whatever you are this week. I want the Lionheart. He says if the AEW title is going to be defended on my watch, it's going to be against the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon. A little bit earlier there, when he mentioned the sports entertainment title, he says, take the interim out of it. This is the World Championship.
Yeah. So then this is when is announced that JR, Taz, and Excalibur are the very first AEW Trios champions because they're in front of each of them on the commentary desk. But they'll have a tournament nonetheless to crown the next champions, second champions.
AEW has a stellar lineup of first champions. Bret Hart, of course, the first world champion.
Yeah. Mike Tyson, the first TNT champ.
That's right. You're right. That's right. Mike Tyson, what a name.
Of course, now JR, Taz, Excalibur, first trios champions. After that, we got a Dante Martin interview. He says he's got to keep his head on a swivel tonight because Sammy has Ty ringside. And he says, Sammy, he can't hack it on this roster anymore. He says, but I'm going to have someone in my corner tonight, and that's going to be Sky Blue.
Man, Dante Martin has come a long way in his promo game. He's actually really comfortable now. He sounds genuine. He's got, and he's past just he sounds like he's comfortable. He's past that. He's got some passion in his promos, man. I love that.
It takes reps.
It takes reps, man. You got to keep doing it.
The next we had Danhausen versus Ricky Starks, and wow, that short film prior to Ricky's entrance.
Oh man.
I mean, stylistically, it fits a lot of the stuff that we've seen him do in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is predominantly him. It's him in collaboration with somebody else. I don't know, but they're great.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You and I, that's one thing we noted when he first started. When he came onto our radar early on, like his pinned tweet was like this rad little short film about Ricky Starks.
Yeah, and it was like Kubrick shot it.
It was. I know. It had all those like very sort of static zooms. And that's what we got tonight. It was awesome. Love to see it. I only wish, and this is such a little nitpick, and it's silly, but have you noticed how janky his actual Tron is compared to like what we know he can do with film, right? And they've got that cheesy like Tron animation.
Oh, I know.
For his entrance Tron. They got like this futuristic, whatever this shit they pulled off in Vada or whatever. So like maybe use some of that cool footage that they shot. They use whatever this stuff was.
I know.
And use that instead, man.
I know. Like cut it to the rhythm of his theme.
Yeah. Oh my God. Because his theme is like, it's him.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Danhausen, Hangman. Those are, man, three of the best themes. Danhausen. So the only thing that bummed me out, they gave Danhausen like 3 minutes here, man. I feel like when you have, dude, Danhausen is so over. You look out in that crowd, there's his face everywhere. His merch is everywhere. It's like Shinsuke that time he went to NXT and 30% of the crowd is like wearing Shinsuke stuff.
It's probably 40% they had Nakamura stuff.
It was a lot of Nakamura.
It was a lot.
There's a lot of Danhausen in the crowd.
I know. Right now, he's in a position where he's still incredibly over, but doesn't have to win.
Yeah.
That has to change at some point. I agree with you.
Yeah.
This was a really short match. It was fun, though. Ultimately, Ricky. So, towards the finish, Danhausen sends Starks into the corner, and Ricky hits his head on the second turnbuckle and sell him neck. But anyway, Starks hits a spear for the win. He grabs the mic. He's still grabbing his neck, too. He tells Danhausen that was very nice, very evil, but Danhausen is not absolute, and just like last week, I still got excuse me, something in the tank. Let's have another challenger, and I'm being real tonight. Mm-hmm. Who's going to step up? And the crowd's already chanting Hook.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then it's Hook.
It's Hook. Yeah. Yeah, the crowd pop huge for Hook. I think this is awesome for Taz, to see his son develop and to be such an integral part of him being an AEW and
totally.
And
being a pro wrestler. It's definitely time for Ricky to move on from.
It 100% is. Absolutely it is. And the crowd was really, really super into this. So awesome for Hook, awesome for Taz. And you know what? It also kind of protects Ricky anyways, because he just had a match. Now, if that match is a little bit longer, and
he's already selling neck.
And he's selling the neck, exactly. So Hook was able to get him with Red Rum, and Ricky tapped out. And then, Starks gives him a little fist bump of respect. Hook leaves, and then we come back from commercial. We have a Ricky Starks interview. This was great. This is
phenomenal.
Great.
Phenomenal.
So he said, I lost, and Hobbs is behind him. And I just think of Hobbs. I'm like, man, that's his bestie. That's like, you never have to, wonder about this guy. He says, I'm lost, and I'm no stranger to losing, and I'm okay with that. He says, but I want everybody to know something. I was given that title, and I made the most of it. I took metal and leather, and I made it into gold.
What a great line.
What's that?
So what a great line.
Oh, I know. It's great. He says, I brought that title back to prominence. I did that. I busted my ass, and I deserve to come out and talk for more than 40 seconds. He said, I'm tired of people telling me to wait for my time. My time is right now. He says, I haven't had a string of bad luck. I've had a string of bad timing. And Hobbs just clubs him right in the back of the neck from behind and then gives him just the gnarliest spine buster, man.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
And Taz is like, what is going on? What is this?
Yeah, what's happening? What's going on right here? Sloppy shop.
Yeah. Then we got into Claim promo. Caster talks about defeating the Ass Boys in a rap battle. He says this week they're going to roast them again, and they'll have to watch their music video to learn about the stipulation for their bout, which is on Friday. And Bowen says we're going to take out the Ass Boys on Friday, and everybody's going to love our video. And I was expecting the video to play right then and there, but didn't play for this. It wasn't on Dynamite at all.
That's just going to be funny. It's going to be hilarious. Did you watch Rampage? Did you watch a rap battle on Rampage?
No, I did not.
They gave Austin some fucking killer lines.
Yeah.
Just killer lines. Yeah, you got to check it out. And then, they kayfabe the whole thing so that Austin gets sort of, tongue-tied in the end, and the Acclaimed end up winning. But the actual lines that he had, and I don't know why they did this, but it was lopsided because Caster came with some weak shit. And Austin was absolutely annihilating him. It was pretty funny, but the crowd hate the Ass Boys, so they're not really acknowledging that. But the lines were really, really good.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a pretty clever segment. After that, we had Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin. I mean, dude, half the shit they're doing, making it look so easy. You're like, what was that?
The last half of the match, Dante Martin was wrestling with a sprained ankle.
Jesus.
It looked like. I mean, he was holding his ankle half the time.
Yeah. He could do more with a sprained ankle than most people can do.
And if that was part of the story they were selling, then what a marvelous job selling.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. Because half that shit, it was absolutely just nuts. Just absolutely nuts. So anyways, so in the end, Ty Conti was a little bit of a distraction for Dante because he goes up for a nosedive. Sammy's able to evade that, but it's because Ty was yelling at Dante, and he sort of took a sweet time getting up there. So Sammy was able to come to after the Spanish Fly. He hits Sammy evades, hits a double springboard cutter, and then falls with a GTH to get the win. Sammy starts stomping on Dante. Ty joins in. Sammy goes up top, and then Sky Blue stands between Sammy and Dante. Ty jaws a little bit with Sky. Anna JAS runs to the ring, punches Sky from behind. Ty and Anna lay into Sky, and then Ruby, Eddie, and Ortiz come out to make that save.
Yep. Then we got a quick Daniel Garcia interview. He's like, oh, Bryan Danielson. I haven't heard that name in a couple months. Where has he been? He says, while you were out, Danielson, I've been in the ring getting better. I'm fresh. I'm sharp. I'm going to send you off on vacation again. After that, they're going to call me the greatest technical wrestler Then we got another one of these great Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh
This shit was
promos.
funny.
These guys have really good chemistry.
Amazing chemistry. Yeah.
So Sanjay is starting to talk about death before dishonor, and Jay goes, "No, I don't want to talk about that. Even though Joe won with a legal chokehold, I'd rather talk about our unfinished business with best friends." And the best friends walk in, they're like, "You're over here just talking crap about us when we're 6 feet away. What's the deal with that?"
And we're wearing tie-dye. Like,
we're in tie-dye.
You can't not notice us.
I know. We're going to have a match on Rampage, and you're going to wrestle too, Dutt. And Sanjay is like, I can't wrestle. I don't wrestle anymore. And they're just giving him crap about it. And eventually he gets mad. He accepts the match. And as soon as best friends walk away, he's like, why did I do that? I can't do this.
Why didn't you stop me from doing this? Jay Lethal started to laugh.
Yeah.
Because Sanjay Dutt was hilarious here.
Yeah, he was. It was great.
That was really good. After that, we had that Jungle Boy interview. He's joined by Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy runs Christian down, calls him the biggest pussy he's ever met in his entire life. Crowd starts chanting pussy. It's weird why they can say that on cable. I guess so, huh? He says, I watched Christian come out for weeks and talk all sorts of bullshit about my family. And he says, congratulations, you're the most relevant you've ever been. But as soon as I come back, you tuck your tail and you run. For somebody who's been wrestling for as long as you have, losing a battle royal shouldn't be such a huge deal. He says, then I realized that Christian's strapped for cash because his wife divorced him.
Ooh.
He said, just like all the bad guys in the movies with turtlenecks and small pricks. By the way, he did the little call me sign too, which is a good touch. He said Christian needed somebody to protect him, to protect, so he found himself a monster. But that monster is my best friend. And what Christian didn't realize is that he was only being protected because nobody's getting their hands on Christian before I am. He's protecting him from me. He says, if Christian wants to talk shit, I can take it. If you want to swing a chair at my head as hard as you can, do it, because I can take that too. He says, 3 years ago, I was standing in a dirt hole with my uncle, watching my tears flow, turning the dirt into mud. And then Christian is backstage watching the TV with his back to it, very WWE style. And so he interrupts. He's on the Tron, and he says, you know, Luchasaurus, you made a big mistake. I showed you the way you were going to be main eventing and getting gold. He says, but you threw it all away to be Jungle Boy's lapdog. He says, last week I ran away because I was afraid of what I'd do to you, Jungle Boy. He says, appropriate that you're wearing the jacket I draped over you, because the next thing I'm putting over you is a body bag, and I won't have to talk shit about your dad anymore because you're going to be laying in the dirt beside him.
Ooh.
Ooh. Heat.
Ooh.
Hot heat.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Ooh. Next, we're backstage. Young Bucks, Brandon Cutler. And Cutler's turned the camera on. He's like, all right, we're rolling. The Young Bucks like, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. Until Cutler brings up the Trios tournament. And they're like, oh. But then Cutler says, well, you know, now that all your friends are gone, I would make a great third wheel. And they're like, no, that's not going to happen. They start walking away. They walk up to Hangman Page. And then they just kind of mutter to each other, oh, happy birthday. I guess Nick's birthday is tomorrow. I think that's what Page said. And then Matt's finally starting to have the conversation that they've been building to. Try to extend that olive branch.
Yeah.
And then he says, well, you know, for the longest time, been wanting to talk to you about, and then Dark Order roll up.
These fucking dorks, man.
They don't have birthday cake. They have birthday broccoli.
That's awful. That's dog shit. That's like the worst birthday ever. You're about to make amends with friends that you've had for like a decade or whatever. And these guys show up with like some broccoli and a little styrofoam dish. What? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Go away, please.
So then the Young Bucks are like, okay, well, we'll catch up with you another time.
And Cutler says, that was awkward.
Yeah.
Vin Smoke says it's a BTE joke. I don't really watch BTE. I don't care about that shit. I'd rather have cake. Anyways.
You just mean in a general sense. Birthday cake better than broccoli for birthday celebrations.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, also, birthday cake's a lot healthier than broccoli.
I mean, that part's debatable. But hey, we can move on.
Tony Nese and Mark Sterling took on Swerve Strickland. Of course, man, that little kick, that finishing kick there on Sterling.
Oh, house call.
The house call, thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice, man. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
Talk
Oh,
about Mark Sterling's fucking outfit, man. What did Taz said something like it's like Captain America threw up her.
Yeah. It was red and blue. He's worn something that's similar. I don't know if he's had the same exact color palette, but yeah. Swerve wins with this, not a surprise. However, early on in the match, we see Keith Lee watching the match backstage. After the match is over, we cut backstage. And Keith Lee's been laid out by Josh Woods, someone apparently Mark Sterling's been trying to recruit. So Swerve sees it on screen, and then Tony Nese attacks him from behind, picks up the tag title. So we'll get a little short-term feud here between Lee and Swerve, and Nese and Josh Woods.
What do you think the All Out? You think they might do a FTR versus Swerve and Lee at All Out? They'd be the guys to have all the titles on the line.
Like, it'd be something.
What's the rankings right now? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It could be. If Lee and Swerve get their 3 or at least 2 successful title defenses, their 3 championship wins, to stick with the Shaq and Kobe analogy. It could be. If this match comes with Nese and Woods is a title bout.
So yeah, right now, listen to this lineup here.
Mm-hmm.
All the people that aren't going to be challenging for titles. So the number 1 contender for the AEW titles, of course, the tag titles, FTR. Number 2 is the Young Bucks. They're not doing that anytime soon. Number 3 is Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks.
They just broke up.
Number 4, it falls off a cliff here. Number 4 is number 10 and Evil Uno. And then number 5 is Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Daddy Magic and,
2.0.
2.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
JS, yeah. So, yeah.
It's got to be FTR taking those belts off.
It's going to be FTR. It's going to be. Hopefully they get plenty of title defenses in the next 6 weeks or so.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to happen at All Out, but.
Well, they got to have a match at All Out, though. That's the thing.
Oh, they will.
Who
they
else?
Will.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, who else are they going to take on an All Out? If they do the Dark Order, it's going to be in the pre-show.
Josh Woods and Tony Nese, obviously.
Right.
I kid.
Lights out.
Yeah, I know. So after that, we got a House of Black promo. Malachi's really making the pitch to Miro. He says, "There's no need for confusion. This entire world is a hoax. God and the devil are the same things nowadays, and that's when men like me come into play." He says, "Miro, you spent your whole life worshiping the throne. I'll make sure you sit on that throne, and everybody will kneel to you." And the Brody pops in and says, "I attacked you, Darby, because I can. I won't stop until the casket drops." Speaking of which, casket match.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm pretty sure
Darby get his win back.
Darby is like undefeated in casket matches.
He
That's like
is.
his thing, yeah. His finisher's the coffin drop. Of course he is. After that, we had our lone women's match of the night. Miyu Yamashita versus Thunder Rosa. Of course, Yamashita got the win on Thunder Rosa back in 18 days ago it was. So two 9 days.
2 9 days, yes.
Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. This was the actual championship match. Thunder Rosa gets the win here with the Fire Thunder Driver. Hold on a second.
What?
There were not any other like women's division segments even.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't even like any other interviews or Brit.
No, usually Jade gets a promo or an interview or something.
Ty and Anna JS were involved in stuff, but the actual division got no shine whatsoever. Like, he does those 3-hour press conferences after media scrums. Somebody can't fucking grill him on that shit. Like,
I know.
What the fuck, dude?
I know. This was a solid bout. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, the Thunder
match. The 8 minutes we got were a lot of fun. I know it'd be great if that was like 12 to 15.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. No, it was good. It was physical. They were beating the shit out of each other.
It was. Yeah, give them more time.
Yeah, more matches, more time, more segments.
More matches, more time, more segments. All that. Thunder Rosa got the win. Fire Thunder Driver. Then it was announced along with the matches for Rampage, Dynamite, the Undisputed Leader coming back next week. Dynamite. And then we got our main event, Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson. Speaking about a physical match, holy shit. Danielson early on especially was laying it in.
Dude.
Snug.
You always know he's been away for a couple months now. I'm sure he was just chomping at the bit. He always does it. When he came back from that first retirement of his, him being thrown around by Brock. Somebody posted a little GIF or a little video clip of like Brock absolutely annihilating him, slamming on the ground, and then the camera captures Daniel Bryan bringing himself back up, and he has this little smile on his face because he loves this shit, and he loves fucking with us because we all know he was out for concussion reasons, or that's we've been told anyways, and he starts midway through the match starts holding his head.
So he hits a missile drop kick, off the top, and then he hits, and I watch him because I'm always scared about the missile drop kicks because you're taking a flat back bump off the top rope essentially. Mm-hmm. So and I paid close attention. His head didn't really hit the mat. If it did, it wasn't like on impact. Mm-hmm. So I was like, when he started selling head, I was like, okay, I'm like 95% sure this is story, and the fact that no one threw up an X and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. This is the story they're telling here. And given his history with concussions, I understand why he does it because it instantly sucks you in. Like, oh shit, is he actually hurt? But at the same time, I don't want to worry about anybody actually being hurt during the course of a match, Well,
that's a whole discussion that we could have that would take way too long, because what you're saying is absolutely right. Is it appropriate to fuck with our feelings in that way? I don't know. Again, I don't know the answer to that question, but Danielson's the best at doing it. He's so good at doing that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a fantastic bout. Early on, Garcia pulls back the mat ringside to expose the concrete. And after Danielson does the drop kick and selling head, Garcia takes him out to the floor, DDTs him on that concrete, busts open Bryan Danielson. Gosh, it was so good. But when Bryan eventually does his comeback, it's amazing. He was throwing stiff shots at Garcia, forearms, kicks. I mean, he's doing those kicks. Every one of those, but the last one to the head was stiffer than shit.
Oh yeah, man.
They were all. He locks on cattle mutilation, hits a tiger suplex. He's looking for the elbows. Garcia catches it. He's hitting elbows of his own, and Bryan Danielson just slowly starts to stand up. He just no-sells it completely. Hits Garcia with a bunch of elbows. A Regal capture suplex that gets but 2 count. He's looking for the knee plus. Garcia counters that. They're trading some strikes. Eventually, Bryan does hit the knee plus, looks for a label lock. Garcia gets the ropes. He rolls to the floor. And so Bryan hits him with a knee plus off the apron. He puts Garcia back in the ring, and as he's about to get in, a hand comes up from underneath the apron and grabs him by the foot. And so he has to pull his foot free. He gets back in the ring. Garcia hits with a pile driver, locks on that kind of sharpshooter type finish he has. And Bryan passes out, and Garcia wins. It's pretty surprising. It's Bryan Danielson's return match.
You know what I love about it, too, is that in Garcia's interview earlier, he had said, if you slip up once, I'm going to be there to take advantage. And that's exactly what happened. It wasn't exactly a slip up because Hager was under the ring. But it was one moment where Bryan was not paying attention to Garcia. Not his fault that he there was a hand kind of like as the fucking Evil Dead coming out of the ground, but yeah, in that one moment Garcia was there. He made good on that in order to take advantage, and he did, and it was awesome for Garcia. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go, because I go watch these two wrestle.
Oh, absolutely.
All day long.
Absolutely. Let's move on to NXT. I guess we talked a little bit of an overview early on. I just felt like the show had a lot of talking.
So did AEW, but
AEW's talky bits are usually short, and they sprinkle in throughout the show. You don't usually, like, the opening segment was like 8 minutes long.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the opening segment.
And then there was more promo. There was a Grayson Waller promo after that, and then a Tony D'Angelo thing backstage with the family. It was just a lot. Just a lot.
Yeah, I like the main event. I thought the main event was. Diamond Mine is like one of my favorite things in NXT.
Yeah, no, they're
right
really
now.
great right now.
It
kind of bums me out that they're falling apart.
Well,
because when they're clicking, they're so much fun together. Not just in the ring, but like the dynamic between them all.
the thing that I really love in their little backstage segment was like Julius is clearly the leader at this point. You know, he's the guy who stepped in last. He number one. They have to have. I don't know about now necessarily if Triple H likes him, but like I could see why they'd be so high on Julius because number one, he's big, he's a tall dude,
super athletic,
and this dude has it. Like in another 2 years, he's gonna be a fucking good pro wrestler. I mean, he's already good, but he's gonna be fucking good in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I thought it's kind of funny to see Roddy sort of cede the power to Julius in that scrum, and then what happens in the finish there, Roderick accidentally hits Julius with that awesome jumping knee of his.
Yeah.
So we're also
another really good match was Andre Chase versus Giovanni Vinci.
It's good.
The way Vinci's been booked of late. Not quite a squash match, but not a terribly competitive bout. Crowd was super into it. All the near falls for Chase got the crowd really thinking he had a chance. Wasn't to be, but man, it was really well executed. I don't know, we didn't even long, like 6-minute match.
Yeah, it felt long. It felt kind of long because it was really good, and they let Andre Chase get a lot of shit in. I wonder if it's one of those things where like they know that Chase is supposed to be there to put other people over, but he does really good work. Like that Chase U shit is over. It's hella over.
Oh yeah, it really is. It really is.
So yeah, there's that. What do you think of this JD McDonough stuff where he just walks around just like talking about ripping people apart?
I get the idea, but I didn't feel like he came off menacing enough. That's the idea, that he's walking around in kind of mundane ways, talking about how, like he could hit someone with the ring bell hammer in the hand and dislodge a finger, and talking about how Wade Barrett's injuries from bare knuckle fighting will lead to him getting hurt easier. Like, I get it. I get the idea. I don't know. It just felt...
It could have been more efficient, I think, is the thing.
There's that, too. But I didn't really feel like Jordan Devlin came off as really menacing at all. Not like he did with the mannequin. I thought the mannequin stuff was much, much, much more efficient and much
I'll put
more
it this
effective.
way. I found myself chuckling with him as opposed to, oh, this guy is terrifying. So I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I thought it was entertaining, but I don't know if it did what it was supposed to do. I think I feel you out here.
Because I think the idea is like, well, this guy's, taking the American Psycho analogy, what's the deal with this guy? This guy's, there's menace to him.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that.
I mean, honestly, they should have just done a little video where he's talking about business cards.
I know.
Let's look at Braun Breaker's business card.
It's got a watermark.
It's Bone. Bone-esque.
He's sitting there doing crossword puzzles, yes.
Bone-esque.
Let's just jump into it. Open it with a Zoe Stark promo.
So how should we you said, hey, let's power run this I
got it. Just watch this. So Zoe Stark opens the show with the promo. She talks about her rehab process, and says all the pain and whatnot was worth it to get back and to hear that reaction on the night of the Battle Royal. She is new #1 contender. She's going to take the title off Mandy. Cora Jade shows up on that platform they have and yells at Zoe for stealing her spotlight. And Zoe says, well, it made me sick when you threw Cora through the tag title in the trash. Title is a piece of trash. You are Cora.
Yeah.
And then Cora says, oh, you're jealous I did more in a week with that title than you ever did. And anyways, they're up by Toxic Attraction. Mandy talks about how she's about to become the 4th longest reigning champion in NXT history. And Zoe challenges her to the title match tonight. Instead, Gigi Dolan says, I'll fight you, and I'm going to put you on the shelf again.
Mm-hmm. Well done. After the Grayson Waller promo, where he said he's going to embarrass Wes Lee, and then Tony D'Angelo. Look at that, see? Tony D'Angelo gave a pet. Look, I'm just going to put it this way in case anybody, they're doing the whole thing. We love NXT. Like, here's the thing. If something stands out in a segment, that is
We'll talk about it.
that tickles us, then we'll talk about it. Okay.
Yes.
But after that, we had Tony D giving a pep talk to his family, talking. You know what? I'm actually kind of sad that he doesn't give more specifics about what Elektra Lopez's increase in revenue is at the docks. It was 18%. Is it more? Has Wild and Cruz, now that they've been stepping up, what is their percentage at the docks?
I know. And what exactly are they doing to up profits? I want to know these things.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, they got an 8-man tag tonight. He's got a good feeling about it. He says to Dynamite, it's not personal, it's just business.
Yep. After that, we had Grayson Waller versus Wesley. Waller had the upper hand for a while, and he starts talking trash. That makes Wesley upset. He hits Waller with a suicide dive, puts Waller back in the ring. He goes up top. Waller pushes him to the floor, and as Lee's standing back up, Trick Williams is in the crowd with boxing gloves on. So Waller's distracting the ref. Trick punches Lee. Lee just barely beats the 10 count. Waller gets out of the ring and then goes back in the ring to hit his rolling stunner to get the win.
Yeah.
Unless it's kind of clunky when he does his finish, unless it's kind of like organically motivated that he is getting out of the ring.
You have to.
If he just jumps out of the ring and then just jumps back in, I'm like, what are you doing that for?
It's
just
like
hit a stunner
the least come out of nowhere thing, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
This was brutal. A Schism interview. This shit's just brutal. It really is.
It is.
It's what's funny about it though is that Gibson. Look, I've always loved Gibson. He's great.
He's a phenomenal talker. Absolutely phenomenal talker.
And even in this role as creepy guy with no hair and a weird contact and talking the way he does, he's really damn good. Unfortunately, it's mired in this boring ass bullshit with Joe Gacy, who, by the way, I like Joe Gacy also. But this stuff that they're doing is lame as fuck, man.
It sucks.
So anyways, they say nothing here.
Yeah.
They literally say nothing. They're asked about Grimes, and he talks about him being lonely, and I can be his father figure, and he can join us under the Schism tree.
Yeah. Yep. Early in the day, Ariana Grace is watching her bit in the Battle Royal, and she's posing to the crowd. She blames Indy for robbing her fans of a special moment. Indy steps in. No timeout in Battle Royals. This motivates match later on.
After that, Delaney says his theme still goes hard. I love Joe Gacy's theme.
It's a good song.
Fucking cool theme, yeah.
It's a good song. Everything else about this whole story, his character is garbage, though.
What's odd, Maggie says, put Indy on main. I would not be shocked. Wouldn't it be great if she joined Theory as like his, adopted sister? John! Cruz versus Zion Quinn was next. Cruz wins this with a spine buster.
Yeah, he did hit his usual finisher.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if this is like his new finisher. It's kind of underwhelming, to be honest with you.
The end of this match was a little clunky.
Well, Zion Quinn's in it.
Yeah.
That probably explains stuff.
I know. There seemed like there was a miscommunication, like when Cruz jumped off the top rope. I think Zion was supposed to catch him and hit that fireman carry move, and then...
Yeah, I wish that there was a Zion interview. I actually find his interviews hilarious. You look up pro wrestling in the internet, and then you come across my picture. This dude makes me laugh. Anyways, after that, we had a Toxic Attraction interview. Everybody talks. Manny says her match with Zoe at Heatwave has been canceled because Gigi's going to put Zoe back in the hospital. So that's not official. And in fact, it's not even true because Zoe lost that match. So then Saray steps in. She says, I wasn't in the Battle Royal because I was over in the UK. Saray's just going up. Everybody asks for title shots. They want a title shot. She asked freaking Mako, I want a title shot, which, by the way, is going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Manny says, I haven't forgotten what you did to me. Tried to rearrange my face. I'll see you in the ring next week, next match.
I did like that they mentioned that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was like a year ago. Then we got a Solo Sikoa video package. This was really cool. Essentially, he just challenges Von Wagner to a Falls Count Anywhere match.
It was a little cinematic. Yeah, it was great.
It was well done.
He was really fucking good in this. This is like a little...
He's a good promo. He's a really good promo.
He's a really good promo, yeah. After that, we had... Yeah, especially compared to what we got from Von Wagner later on. After that, we had Gigi Dolan versus Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark gets the win here. with her finish. I like that was one line here. So he hits kick, follows with finish for the win. JC gets in the ring. Zoe tosses her out. Mandy tries to sneak attack. Stark spots her. Mandy gets out of there. And then Cora Jade hits the ring, hits Zoe with a kendo stick. Roxanne Perez runs to the ring. Cora gets out of there through the crowd.
Then we get a quick little bit. JD McDonough arrives at the Performance Center. The valet asks, hey, usual parking spot? And JD says, nope, I'm a paying customer tonight. Well, like, you can still get your usual parking spot, right?
And what's even more confusing, he goes in through the employee door.
I know. They don't collect tickets there. Doesn't make any sense.
After that, we had a Wendy Chu video package. She's dreaming about Tiffany Stratton eliminating her from the Battle Royal. Then she wakes up. She says she woke up on the wrong side of the bed, all because of Tiffany. She tells Stratton this isn't over. Next time she sees Tiffany, it's going to be lights out. Man, with Triple H in charge, maybe they'll transition. You know, it'd be cool if they transition Wendy Chu back into, what was it, Mei Ying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what if that's her alter ego? Wouldn't that be fucking cool?
That'd be interesting if they went back and forth with it.
If they did it right, you know, it'd be kind of cool.
That could be fun. Then we had JD McDonough starts off in the audience. We kind of talked about this where he went up to some person in the crowd and was saying, hey, be careful eating that popcorn because you could choke on it.
Yeah.
He goes to the timekeeper, talks about the hammer they use to ring the ring bell, how if he hits someone in the hand with it can dislocate a finger. He has nothing but nice things to say about Alicia Taylor, the ring announcer. Walks over to Wade, talks about the calcium deposit he has in his hands from all those years bare knuckle boxing, and how that can make it easier to hurt him when he manipulates his fingers. A piece of it get dislodged. And then he goes over to Vic, and he says, I heard what you said about my family last week, and I didn't like it. You're tall and thin. You probably got a soft bone structure. I feel like I could break your collarbone with my bare hands. He starts squeezing on him.
Yeah.
And he says, I won't.
But I won't. Though.
He says one more person. Yeah, there's one more person. I mean, he couldn't break his collarbone with bare hand. Get out of here with that nonsense. Finger, maybe collarbone,
really
no way.
Really strong hands, man.
Man, I don't know. And then he says, Braun, come on out to the ring. I want to introduce myself to you formally. And then Braun just says, well, at Heat Wave, you're going to get real acclimated with me, and you're not going to like it. Let's make it official next week. We have a headbutt from JD. He's looking for a devil inside. Braun hits a headbutt of his own. And then when JD sits up, he's got a little blood in his mouth, and he smiles.
Got some blood there. After that, we had a Chase U promo. Andre is about to have a match with Vinci, and he asked for the scouting report from Bodie and Thea. And he's like, yeah, dude, Vinci was rude to me, the whole car thing. And Thea's like, oh, I loved his car. I accidentally touched it. And then Vinci got mad at me. And she says, let me at him. And then Chase says, nobody talks to you guys like that. I'm going to take care of Vinci. And then Nathan Frazier walks in. Everybody's happy to see him because he's like a cool guy. Yeah. And he's like, can I be an honorary flag waver tonight? And they're like, yeah, dude, do it.
Yeah. Then we get another Axiom video package.
Axiom.
And then we got a Roxanne Perez interview, and she's talking about if Cora wants to throw away their friendship, fine. Don't disrespect the title. And I got someone else who agrees with me, and then Medusa.
Alundra Blaze is back. Or is in
she's,
NXT.
Yeah, she steps in with a garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, I'll let you do the honors. And so Roxanne pulls out the tag title. And Medusa says, these tag titles should be worn by two women who are proud. Oh, sorry. Roxanne said that. Says, these tag titles should be worn by two women who are proud to wear them. And Medusa says, 25 years ago, I dumped the women's title in the trash, and it took a long time to crown a new women's champion. But this time, it won't take very long, because next week, this will be a fatal four-way tag match. Winner will be the new women's tag champs.
Man, if they had any sense over there at NXT, they'd make Alundra Blaze the new William Regal. Make her the new general manager. Wouldn't that be cool?
Great. That would be awesome.
That'd be neat. After that, Giovanni Vinci versus Andre Chase. We talked about this a little bit. Really good match. They gave it plenty of time. Vinci ends up getting the win here with the power bomb. But man, just up until the last second, it looked like Chase might have had this. But Vittoria for Vinci.
Indeed. Dynamite, they're warming up for their match. Ivy's talking about how it feels good to be united. Brutus is getting Kemp all hyped up. Roddy says, hey, Tony D has united us. Now we're focused on dominating. The Julius, as you mentioned earlier, is the last one to walk in. It says, we eat and we compete, and we're all hungry. If you get hurt this match, power through it. Tony D and his crew may have knocked them down. Now we're getting up, and we're going to drop them. Pressure makes diamonds, but tonight they break bones.
Mm-hmm. This next bit was great because this women's tag title stuff is coming up. What's Yulisa Leon? Wait, what is it?
Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz.
Thank you. Yeah. So they're FaceTiming, talking about prepping for the tag match next week. And Songa's there. Chill Songa's there. And she's like, do you think we're ready? And he's like, you're ready, man. He says, next week we're going to hear and new women's tag team champions. This dude just gives me the feel good, you know?
Man, he just seems like the chillest dude.
He's best vibes.
Totally.
Yeah, man.
Totally. Chill Songa.
Chill Songa's the best.
Then we get a Caden Carter, Katana Chance interview. Carter's upset about the tag title being thrown in the trash. And then Katana says those titles belong around the waist people who are really friends, and that's what you're looking at. Ivy Nile and Tatum and Paxley walk in. Paxley starts talking crap. Carter's like, you two aren't even a real team. And Ivy says, yeah, we are, and we'll prove it when we win the tag titles. And Elektra Lopez walks in, gives Ivy crap, and then says Dynamite are going to lose tonight. And then Paxley punches her, and then everybody starts fighting.
Who's Lopez's tag team partner?
No, she's not. I don't think she's in the match. She was just going in there to talk trash to Ivy Nile about Dynamite.
Oh, because Diamond Mine. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, we had Indy Hartwell versus Ariana Grace. Indy gets the win here with a running boot after Grace was arguing with the ref because she had her feet up on the ropes.
Yeah. After that, we had Robert Stone and Von Wagner promo. Stone says, we heard what you had to say, Solo Sikoa. And do you really want a false count match against this man, Von Wagner? He says, Von already took you out in the streets, so we're going to decline your offer.
Wait,
Von's
Stone. Wait, what are you doing? What are you
There you
doing,
go.
Stone? And Stone's like, look, man, here's the thing. We already got a lot to worry about. You've already run off Sophia. And Vaughn says, look, if she wants to be a model, I don't give a shit. Last week I became street champ. Solo wants his crown back. Come get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great because in the Hulu version, they didn't censor out the shit.
They did on the television broadcast,
I know.
at least on the West Coast.
I watched the Hulu version first, and I was like, were commercials and recaps really an additional 40 minutes? Because this thing was only like 55 minutes. And then I had to go back and watch the Ariana match and the Chase U match. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hulu cuts off NXT, the important stuff, man.
So then after that, we had a Kiana James presentation about what's wrong with the NXT women's division. And she just says it's Nikita Lyons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. After that, we had an Alba Fire video package, and then we had our main event, Tony D'Angelo family versus the Diamond Mine. This was wildly fun. So towards the finish here, you had Julius and Roderick Strong just blasting everybody with their own finishes. So you had Roderick Strong kneeing a guy, doing that great jumping knee, best in the business. Yeah. And then Julius had followed up with that great sliding clothesline thing. Mm-hmm. And that happens to multiple people in Tony's crew until they have Tony up and he dodges out of the way and Roderick hits Julius with his jumping knee. And then Tony hits spinning fisherman breaker for the win on Julius. Yeah, because Roddy gets out of there. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Show closes with Medusa. She walks out. Sorry, Alundra Blaze. I guess we're in WWE's universe, so we have to.
WWE.
The Alundra Blaze. She walks out to the parking lot. She's interviewed. Asked, who do you think is going to win next week? She says, I don't know. But the last team standing earns the right to be called champ. And then Gigi and JC walk in and say, that's us. There are no other tag teams, only Toxic Attraction. So just give us the belts. Yeah. And then Medusa says, well, if they want the titles, then they'll have to fight for them next week.
Fight for them if you want these titles. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and answer a couple of questions. I have a thread right here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Got a variety of reward tiers over there. We got some bonus content. You can leave questions if you can't make the show live. We're going to start off with, let's see here. Alex Foster says, do you guys think the constant mentions of Elektra doing a lot for Tony D will lead to anything? Maybe when LDF finally leaves, Elektra may turn on them.
It'd be interesting if, by increasing profits for the Tony D'Angelo family, Legado is at the same time procuring that particular part of the organization for themselves.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah. Because here's the thing. Usually, from what I have understood from movies and documentaries, mob bosses run things via muscle. They have a whole structure where they're at the top of the hierarchy, and they have a whole army of people beneath them.
Yeah,
bosses,
all the money
and sub-bosses,
funnels up.
lieutenants, and all it comes up.
Yeah.
Tony doesn't seem to have that. He's got one guy. So how is he actually strong-arming? How is he actually like enforcing his way on Elektra, Wild, and Cruz? It doesn't make any sense unless they kayfabe some sort of like management contract where in order to get paid, they have to do his bidding. But, he's not really what I know of as a mob boss. Doesn't make any sense.
No, not really. Shane's birthday tweet. What show seems like the talent has more fun, 2.0 or Dynamite?
At this point, the fact that I don't have a clear answer probably says it's probably a toss-up.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like the 2.0 cast is developing really good chemistry, and it seems like they're having a really good time. I think there are probably certain people on the AEW roster is having a really good time. I imagine there's a lot of people there that are probably frustrated because they have a really large roster and there's not room for a lot of people.
I know. Yep.
Let's see here. Taimur Rahman, with the way they had Vince be the mentor of Theory on screen, pick someone from NXT 2.0 to be brought up to main that would be best for Triple H to mentor on screen.
Interesting.
I'd say it's Carmelo. You're my guy.
Yeah.
You remind me of a young version of my best friend, Heartbreak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes you literally wear the same gear as him. Is it homage?
White Brownie, obviously not main, but would 2.0 make more sense to share talent with other promotions? I mean, I think from WWE's perspective, yeah, but I don't know, like, what would AEW get out of doing a crossover show with NXT? Nothing.
Wait, was that the question? He says, obviously not main, would 2.0 make more sense to share talent with other promotions?
Oh, share talent with other promotions. Sorry. For some reason, I read that as crossover.
I mean,
it'd be kind of interesting if, like what they're doing, sending talent on excursion to NXT UK, like actually do that to other places. That could be.
Well, like Charlie Dempsey did, he was in the last Progress chapter.
Yeah.
So I think but it's part of the hierarchy, like NXT UK will go down to Progress, I think sometimes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome if they did that, mix it up. I know there's got to be some like WWE. I don't think so. Like WWE sort of bought all the promotions that are friendly to WWE.
More or less, yeah. Dex Guns, switch the Bloodline, the Elite from each company. What's the first storylines you would do? It would be Mox and Roman. Mm-hmm. Or Blackpool Combat Club against Bloodline. For the Elite, assuming it's Kenny and the Young Bucks.
I do like I don't know, what's a tag team? Like Kenny, I'd want to see with Seth. I think that's sort of a natural thing. I'm trying to think of like a tag team for the Young Bucks. I mean, if the Usos are gone, that's not the team.
Oh, what if you do? I mean, you'd have to do a path to get there. Seth and Street Profits against Kenny and the Young Bucks.
That's a cool idea. Kevin Owens and Street Profits versus Ken, because Kevin Owens versus Kenny Omega would be
really good.
Would be really cool.
Would be really good.
Yeah. Xavier Gray says, were you guys surprised to see Medusa on NXT? No. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty great.
Keep her there, man. General manager.
That would be awesome.
I know. Let's see here. Luis Areza asking this. I think he's probably asked this before. Who's the guy in the suit with the bag over his head? It's a box on his head. It's Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian.
We've talked about that before, Luis.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's just trolling us or if that's a serious question. If it's a serious question, I'm sorry, Luis.
Yes.
Let's see here. We've talked about this already. We've talked about that already. We've talked about that already. We've talked about that. Okay. Here we go. This is a good one. We have one, and then we'll finish on this one. Mo Suppose says, with the addition of Claudio, do you think Moxley is the first to leave the Blackpool Combat Club? Who's the first to leave?
Oh, I'd probably say it's Bryan Danielson.
I could see that. Like,
maybe he's upset because he doesn't think he's Regal's star pupil anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Gets mad.
Yeah. And then Frank Penguin, which is a great name, by the way.
Great name.
Says, did anybody else get Colin Robinson vibes for JD McDonough's promo? I tell you, the ring bell here has a heck of a hammer.
Yeah, I can see that.
You put this hammer on the hand at the right time, then, you could easily dislodge a finger.
Yeah.
And everybody's
I can see that. He's just powering up. He's levitating off the ground.
Oh man! All right, that's gonna do it for us, everybody. We're gonna go check out the Vampire nightclub. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll make an announcement also on the channel and on our Twitter. Smash Zone tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald, here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the weekend wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.